Hello, welcome to possibly one of the most nerve-wracking road tests I'm ever going to do. It is a Citroën DS5, and yes, it is a Citroën DS5, not just a DS5, because they're not really a DS. Well, neither is this, I suppose. Why is it nerve-wracking? Well, it's nerve-wracking because I really want to like this. I really do. I mean, look at it. I want to like it. But all the people who drive them say they're a bit... I'm trying to think of a kind way to say it. Crap. So this DS5 has been brought down to me by a man called James, very kindly. He's offered to let me test this car for a while now, and we will later on be putting it on the rolling road as well. It's been a long time in the planning. I think it was 2024 we planned this, but then things came up and it didn't happen. But it's here now. I mean... Look at it. It's just bonkers. It's just... Yeah, that's great appraisal, isn't it? Look at it. So basically this is a 2015 Citroën DS5. Citroën did eventually take DS and make it their own sub-brand, but we ignore that. And this is also a petrol DS5. Most of them are diesel. This is a 200 THP. I don't know anything about it. That's going to be the ongoing theme of this video, although it's a French car and I obviously like my French cars. I know nothing about these, and I'm deliberately going into it with that mindset. I don't want to know anything. I'm just going to approach this like you would approach it if you got to drive this yourself. The things you would notice, I'm going to try and notice for you, because you're not here, but I am. So these, apparently, I've just discovered this, so I'm learning. These are called sabres. I thought they were hockey sticks, but apparently these are sabres. And these ones, because it is a sport, it's a DS5 Sport, these are black chrome, which isn't black. But apparently that's black chrome, or dark chrome. Did he say dark chrome or black chrome? Man, I should pay attention more. This is, as I say, it's a petrol car, a sport model, which means it has 19-inch wheels, which make it worse. It also doesn't have the hybrid rear end. There was a version of this car called the hybrid model, which had a diesel engine at the front and a small electric motor at the back. And it was apparent, I think it was the first diesel... Oh, now did I pay attention when I read Wikipedia this morning on the toilet? I think it was the first diesel hybrid. I'm not sure. My Overboard podcast counterpart, comrade, co-host, Alex Scroff, he'll be able to tell me that. Now, one of the things I have previously read online is that the hybrid version of these drives better because it has an independent back end. The rear suspension is independent. In this, it isn't. It's a torsion beam. And you're going to wonder yourself, why is this a torsion beam? Is this not a big Citroën? Well, yes and no. It might physically be quite big, but it's based on the platform of the C4 Picasso, or C4 Grand Picasso, and the Peugeot Partner, and the Berlingo, and the Peugeot RCZ, and the 3008, and things like that. So it's not actually got the underpinnings of the bigger cars, like the C5, and the 508, and the C6. I should bring the C6 over to this, shouldn't I? Line it up. Yeah, it doesn't have that platform. It has the basic platform, which potentially is one of the reasons it lets it down a bit. I had a C4 VTS once, a coupe, and I like many things about that car. The way it drove was not one of them. I desperately want to like this one, because if I like this, I will probably get one. Because once again, look at it. Yeah, if I like it, I think about getting one, but I don't know if I will. I'm not confident at the moment from the things I've read and from the things the owners told me. Yeah. Let's have a look round it. Let's get that bit out of the way. So you might say to yourself, well, this is a road test video, so just get out on the road and drive it. Well, yes, I will, but we do look around these cars first. And to be honest, with a car like this, there is a lot to look around at. I mean, look at it. Is it a hatchback? Is it an estate? Is it a shooting brake? Is it an MPV? Oh, look, a big Citroën in the corner. These are real exhausts, they're not fake. Look at the size of that rear wiper. It's just the more you look around it, I mean, you'd think the back is like the most basic part to look at, but then you start to notice things like, I didn't notice this until today, look. Look at the detail in here, the sculpting. There is more effort gone into that rear light than Volkswagen put into a Golf. XM vibes. Let's get into the boot. There is somewhere a button. There you go. This is a pearl paint job. Can you see it? I can't. Well, I can just about. The boot is decent size. Full of my stuff, sorry, and his stuff. I quite like that, getting C4 vibes, C4 coupe vibes. I do wonder about these Sabre things. On a dark coloured car, are they there, do you think, to make the bonnet look longer? And get rid of this MPV-like kind of quarter window there? Because basically it's got an A pillar and a B pillar and a C pillar and a D pillar and an E pillar. Like an MPV. Do you think that's what that Sabre's for? I'd be interested. Who styled this car? I can't stop looking at it. It looks amazing. So the DS5, I believe, is based on the Sea Air Dream concept. And if you look at the pictures of that online, which you can because we have things like Google, you'll see that it's actually really similar. I think that one had suicide rear doors. And obviously it's the same as with any concept car, you know, the production car ends up being a slightly more normal version of it, but the similarities are pretty striking. I can't stop looking at it. It's such a good looking car. But it's not ostentatious, it's not over the top. It's not going, oh, look at me everybody, ooh, and vying for attention. Like some sort of, well, dare I say it, like some Audis and BMWs these days with the huge arches and the huge exhausts and everything. It's not like that. It just looks really classy. The classiness extends inside. It has an interior. Well, yeah, I mean, it's got an interior. It's a car, but there is a lot going on. It doesn't have the watch strap seats which massage you, apparently. That's a shame. Although these seats, I'll find out how comfortable they are in a minute, but they do look quite comfortable. But the thing about DS5s is that for all these funky switches and things that you've got on the dashboard, maybe not those ones, you've also got them on the roof. I mean, look at this kind of detail here. I hope the camera picks this up. That's what I'm trying to do in this video, I think. I'm trying to get up really close and look at the things that you wouldn't normally look at. The things you wouldn't normally spot when you just see one of these drive past the road. The roof is black. Is it a window? No, it's not a window. Oh, I thought it might. Oh no, it is a window. We'll have to play with that in a bit, won't we? So this is a 200 THP. The engine in this is a 1.6 litre turbo 4-cylinder petrol. And it is the engine that goes into the Mini Coopers and the DS3 Racing or DS3 Turbos and the Peugeot RCZs and all that kind of thing. Basically the engine that everyone says grenades itself and causes you loads of problems. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? As a modern engine where on paper they're amazing. But in real life you do sometimes encounter problems, but he hasn't had any problems with this yet. What's it like in the back? Slightly cramped, maybe. I don't know. It's got a bit of width. Let's have a... Oh! Do you know what it smells like in here? There used to be a shop in Southampton called Tyrrell and Green, and there was a floor that sold TVs. It smells like that floor. Not the actual floor, as in the floor, the level. I mean, look at the lights. Oh, it's flickering. Oh, it's gone. Oh, because it's trying to fade. I bet he's put LEDs in and it's trying to fade out. We've got hooks. I mean, it's not... I wouldn't say it was... Well, there's not much to see there, is there? I wouldn't say it was... It's not cramped. It's not spacious. But what it has got, I've just noticed, is it's got window switches down here. Like a BX. Even look at things like that. The details in here, honestly, you could You could get lost for days. It almost makes the C6 look a little bit normal. Scratchy plastic time. Yeah, that bit's a bit cheap, but that bit's not as bad. That bit's a bit cheap. That bit's cheap feeling, but I'll give them their dues. That looks really good. Door handle feels nice. Right, the wind is starting to touch me up, so let's get the camera in the car and go for a little drive and see just how bad, hopefully not, or good, hopefully so, this thing is. Right, so I've moved into the cockpit. Yeah, it's as crazy in here as it is outside. So you've got all this row of switches at the top here, very aircraft-like, and you've got this kind of wrap-round dashboard and this centre console, which is level with the top of my leg, and that's when my feet are not on the pedals. So that's how cocooned you are, and if you like cocooned feeling cars, you will like this. The dials are quite funky. Look at that. You have to faff about pushing the clutch and things to start the engine. Will it say goodbye? No, it just kind of fades away. Quite a funky clock there. I seem to remember there was something made of that. Leather top dash here. I mean, I kind of recognise a lot of these controls from my other sort of PSA products, but what you got down here, so you've got... Oh, that'll be to control the what's it, the screen. That's a good idea, because on the C6 you have to faff about actually going up to it. Heating controls. Feels alright. That's quite a nice finish. That there. That, not so much. Oh, it's a horrible noise. Yeah, otherwise, a nice place to sit. So you've got all the... I've always wondered what all these buttons do. So you've got window, lock... Oh. Ooh. Ugh. Some of those switches are, yeah, not so great. Yeah, so you've got these switches here, which do look brilliant, admittedly. So you've got, what's that, window, stopping the rear window from being operated. More type, look at this brushed. Is that actual aluminium? It can't be. Yeah, you've got windows, that one's door lock-in, and up here you've got, so what we've got here, we've got, oh. Okay. Nice. So what's... And then that one will be that one. Nice. We like. So what's that? Or is that both of them simultaneously? Oh no! I do like that. Oh, I've locked the door. So that's the rear one, and that's the two front. So what's that? And this? Night mode. Oh, maybe that's the heads-up display. So it does have a heads-up display. If I were to... Oh, I've had to turn the volume down because of the monetization issues. But that's not a bad stereo, actually. So I've turned that on by accident. What was I trying to do? I've forgotten now. Oh, yeah. So it's got a heads-up display. So if I start the engine, get the bloody aircon on because it's hot in here. To start the engine, you have to hold the clutch and push the button, I think. There we go. Oh, look. Oh, you can actually see it. So in the C6, you can't. What'd you call me? You can actually see it in this. I just want to break it off. I've just got urges. Right, well, I'm going to get set up and we'll go for a drive, and I'm going to have this thing absolutely break my heart. So I've actually driven it up the road to do an errand quickly. You never guess what I just parked behind. He's had a bad day. Right. So I'm not going to bullshit you and pretend that I haven't driven this car to the lay-by that I just set the camera up and everything. But I am going for first impressions, and I'm trying to remember how I felt when I first drove it, which was about 15 minutes ago. I'm mixed. There are things about it which I don't like, and there are things about it that I do quite like. None of the things I like are related to the way it drives, which is unfortunate. I used to have a Saab 9.3 a little while ago. It was a 2005 Saab 9.3 Vector Sport, and this car reminds me a bit of that, because with the Saab, I liked the seats, I liked the interior, I liked the comfort, I liked the controls, I liked the way it looked, I loved the way it looked. There was a lot about that car I liked, but ultimately, I didn't like the way it drove, because it was rubbish to drive. The ride was appalling, the steering was vague, the engine was void of any character. It was a perfectly decent car. It was very comfortable, it was half decent on fuel, it went well enough, it had a Hirsch remap, so it went well enough. You know, it ticked all the boxes of being an car, and the fact it was a Saab 9.3 saloon meant it was actually kind of a handsome one, and it was a little bit different to the normal cars that you see about, like a Mercedes, whatever that is. You know, you just see them everywhere. It's just kind of like, it's just a car. They're just, you know, I know people like Mercedes would think differently of that, but to me, you see them everywhere. It just becomes furniture. Audi A3. Is that exciting if someone says they have an Audi A3? No. But a Saab 9.3 was a little different. A Citroën DS5 is even more like that. It is the Saab 9.3, but on another level. Although this is quite funky. What's that? A Passat something rather, an Ayrton or whatever it is, Aerion, but with broken mirrors. I have to record this all in one take because the dashboard is so big I can't reach the camera. So what's the actual car like? Well, we're out in the countryside, we're away from all the people that I hate so passionately. Well, it might be called a DS5 Sport, but nah. It's about as sporty as cheese. It's not a sporty car in the slightest. In fact, there's nothing sporty about it. There's nothing. I'm trying to think of something. The ride? Maybe? So the thing that surprises me with the engine straight away is that it doesn't feel like a turbo. Oof. I'm on a really bad road here. I know there are comments, there are criticisms of the suspension in a lot of motoring corners about the DS5. This is a particularly bad road, so don't judge it on this one. Well, you can't judge it. You're not here, are you? Yeah, the engine's weird. It doesn't feel like it's turbocharged. There's no sudden boost. There's no sudden rush of oomph. It's just kind of it feels naturally aspirated in many ways. Engine aside, yeah, it's a strange thing to drive. It's kind of like driving a people carrier that's not high up. I mean, it is kind of high up, but it's not like it's not a people carrier driving position. Certainly doesn't feel like a people carrier cockpit. But then we have got clap-hand wipers. We have got these big sort of quarter-light windows at the front, either side of the windscreen. So it kind of feels a little bit like a people carrier, just lower down. I don't like the steering. That's one thing I can tell you for sure that I don't like. I'm noticing the steering more than the ride. The steering is kind of, it's like it's got artificial self-centering. Oh dear. I've just realised, yeah, I own a car with that. It's got, yeah, it's like it's got no feedback at all. It's not an involving car to steer about. The wheel actually feels really big. I don't know if it is, but it just feels big. But the thing I don't like about it is it's desperately trying to centre itself all the time, and it's like you're fighting against it. You've got a car that it's not particularly responsive. If you do this with the steering, some cars you do that in and you get an instant kind of like go-kart reaction. It's like a sort of, it's not necessarily the ratio of the steering, it's just some cars feels like you're completely directly connected to the wheels. This one, it feels like there's a delay, like a very slight delay. And you think, well, okay, fine. You get that, you know, a lot of cars have that. That's quite normal. C6 has it. The Daihatsu that I've been driving daily this week does it. It's not a big deal. Hell, even Mac cars without power steering. The 106 dump it's a little bit like that. But the difference is that with those cars, the kickback to the middle isn't aggressive. So it's kind of, it's not aggressive when you turn in, but it's not aggressive when you turn out again. This is. It's like turning in bit is a bit blunt, turning out bit razor sharp, and it kind of, it feels a bit weird when you're driving along, and even if you're just trying to keep it off the camber. I mean, I think you probably get used to it maybe, but otherwise, there's some things I'm really liking about it. I'll be positive for a bit. It feels kind of, it does feel special in a way that the C6 feels special. The visibility is a weird mix. It's kind of, it's bad but good. Does that make sense? Probably not. I think the visibility out the front is actually okay. You know, you've got a lot of pillars, so you'd think you'd be struggling, but it's actually alright. The mirrors are decent. The window at the back is tiny, but then people drive vans, don't they? And they have no rear windows, so, and they get by. I'm going to have to come back to the ride though, because that's the thing that anyone who ever drives these cars and writes something online, they either like them or they say the ride is poor. I've had worse. I mean, I've had an MG ZS 180, which admittedly was a full-on hot hatch, but that was worse. The ride was worse, although the handling was better. It's like the ride is as firm as a car that would be sporty and would handle well would be, but it doesn't handle well, so it's kind of just needlessly firm. It's exactly the same as the Saab was. Firm, but with none of the, you know, like the MG ZS. I had a Nissan Primera GT once. Firm, but handled well. So it's like, well, it's firm, but I'll take the rough with the smooth. Whereas this, well, definitely not smooth. It's not, I wouldn't say it's abysmal. That's a selling feature. I wouldn't say it's abysmal, but I think maybe some of the comments I've read might be a bit over the top. It's not as bad as I was expecting. It's not like it's like the things I'd read from people said that, oh, I had to get rid of it, I just couldn't live with it. Well, no, I think it depends on what your expectations are. But it's needlessly stiff. It doesn't need to be like this. So, like, they could have set this up to be softer than it is. And the sort of people that the car would have appealed to, I think they'd have appreciated it. I mean, there's no tangible benefit I can see for having it set this stiff. You know, if that's the only, if it would handle so much worse if it wasn't, which I don't believe it would, but if it would, then obviously you've got a bigger problem with the car. But so that's fourth gear, 40 miles an hour, plant it, 44, 46, 49, 51, that's up a hill, 56, 59, and then I can't stop, I can't keep telling you what I'm doing. So we're onto a faster road now. And it's got the same sort of platform as my old C4 VTS. The things it failed at and the things that this thing's struggling at, it's not ultimately horrendous, it's not ultimately terrible, but it's a bit of a crime. And I think that's why people lambast them. Why is it a crime? Because this is what a Citroën should be amazing at. It should be really good at going cross-country at a lick. Not 10 tenths, Citroëns are terrible at 10 tenths, but 7 tenths, 8 tenths, minimal effort and maximum speed cross-country is what they're good at. This doesn't feel, it feels fidgety. Here we go, we're into some slightly more open roads now. There's just no bite from the front, like you don't know how well it's actually I might as well be playing a video game. But it is, I mean, it's stable. Let's give it a bit more welly. I'm trying to enjoy it. There's absolutely zero, like, oof, it actually dealt with that quite well. I think it's stable. Oh, it's trying to torque steer. Maybe that's why it's got strong. Maybe that's why it's got strong self-centering. It's trying to fight torque steer. What's it like out the corner? There's no character in the engine at all. It's completely flat. Here we go. I'm trying, aren't I? I'm trying to enjoy it. Yeah, it's stable. It's safe. It handles safe. But you can go quickly if you need to, but you won't enjoy it. Does that make sense? It's kind of how it feels. I think in France this car will be a lot better because the roads are a lot better. Maybe that's why Citroën have stopped making cars that ride properly, because the roads aren't terrible in France anymore. They're really good now. So it brakes quite well, so it doesn't, when you hit the brakes and you're going over the bumps that it's struggling with, it doesn't get ruffled by the bumps. It doesn't get affected. It keeps itself stable. Maybe that's why the steering self-centers so strongly. I'm guessing this is an electric power steering column. I'm guessing it doesn't have a pump. I don't think it's hydraulic. It certainly doesn't feel it. It might be, but that kind of kickback it has to the centre is so strong that it's got to be manufactured. It's got to be electrical. The centre console is getting on my nerves. When I put my foot on the footrest, my knee is constantly sitting against the centre console. I like the head-up display. It's clearer than the C6's, but it's cheating because it's got that lens. The C6's actually projects onto the windscreen, so it's like a proper one, but it doesn't work as well as this. The noise inside isn't bad. It's quite quiet, but one of the things I did notice is that when I was parked at a junction earlier on waiting for the lights to change, and cars drove past me, they seemed really loud. The outside atmosphere didn't seem quiet. It seemed quite noisy. But on the move, which is where it matters, it feels okay. The gear change isn't amazing. It's kind of just a bit like the one on my Logitech G920 wheel. It's just kind of a bit, oh dear, someone's in a classic car and they've broken down. It's a Jeep. Can you imagine if you'd have done that in the war? You'd be in right trouble there. So none of the controls kind of give you, there's no satisfaction, there's no feel to the controls, there's nothing nice. And that is quite often the way with Citroëns. The C6 is pretty similar to that, but the difference there is the C6 tries to isolate you from everything, including the bumps. This is not, and I think maybe that's where it falls down. It kind of feels like everything's plastic and hollow. Does that make sense? There's no weight to anything. The steering wheel feels like it's plastic and just a hollow tube. The dashboard feels like there's nothing behind it. The front end just feels really light, that there's nothing on it, but not light in a good way, light in a kind of like there's no substance in front of me. It's hard to explain. I'm getting used to it. That's one of the things I noticed the most when I started driving it, and I drove the C6 this morning, so that was the most recent frame of reference I had. That feels more substantial. But the more I drive this, yeah, I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it. I was worried I was going to, and I don't. But would I buy one? I can't see it happening. The thing I like about the car most is kind of like the looks and the experience of sitting in it. I'm loving that I've got the glass above me and I've got this panel here and the switches above, and I expect at night this is a really cool place to sit. I expect all the lights glow and things. If it was a bit softer, if it rode properly, maybe. I think the fact it's a manual actually lets it down. I think it would be better if it had, well, Citroën don't do a version, but if the DSG box that you get in Volkswagens and things, if it had something like that and a diesel engine, it would probably make more sense. I mean, it goes around corners fine. It goes around corners fine. It's not unstable. I think a lot of people, I think it depends on your expectations and what your background is. A lot of people would get in this car and go, what are you talking about? It feels fine to me. But you don't know what they've come from. That's the reference point. If you've come from Citroëns, you're going to get in this and think, that's a bit rubbish in terms of the way it drives. But then a lot of the modern ones are. They don't make them like they used to, do they? At the same time, if you were to get in this from a Ford, you know, a Focus or something like that, or even an S-Max, which is the most recent Ford I've driven, this doesn't ride or handle as well as one of those. Which you think, well, fair enough, some cars don't, but that's a crime. It's a Citroën, it's supposed to. So what's it for? If it doesn't ride properly, are you just buying it for looks? I don't know, I can't figure it out. I'm annoyed. I thought I'd be able to just get to the end of it and go yes or no, but I'm kind of torn. I can't see me buying one. Unless they were really cheap. Maybe if it were, but they're not. That's the thing. You look at the prices of these. They're not cheap. It's like one of the only French cars that's kind of held its value. I think I like the car. I should love it. I should absolutely love it. It should be one of my favourite cars. But it's not a complete package. Oh, I want to reach a conclusion. I think if it was cheap, yeah, see, but if you get the diesel version, then it's going to be even less fun, isn't it? So you're thinking to yourself, right, so we're avoiding any semblance of fun, and all we are doing is having a car that we're trying to make competent as a daily driver, and one that we enjoy being inside. We enjoy being in here. I like the details. I like the effort they've gone to. I like the look of the car. But with a diesel in it, it's going to drive worse. Might not be massively worse, but then it would make more sense because it would be better on fuel. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bit of a miss. I like the cockpit, I like the layout, I like the design, I like the view out the front. I like the door handles, I really like the door handles. I want to like the car, I really do. I'm glad it exists. Just not convinced. I don't think the ride is the only thing that lets it down. Everyone goes on about the ride. I don't think it's the ride. I think it's the fact that it's got the drawbacks of being a stiffly sprung sporty car, but with none of the plus points of being a stiffly sprung sporty car. Does that make sense? But then the C4 VTS was like that. That wasn't any good around corners. This is actually better. At the end of the day, there's no point trying to enjoy a car anywhere in the UK because you're just stuck behind people like this. The engine's got no character and handling has no character, but the car does, so it should be fun, but it's what a strange car this is. It doesn't know what it wants to be. I think Top Gear magazine voted this the best family car in 2011, and I can kind of see why a little bit. It's not a very good family car. An MPV is a good family car, but if you've got 2 kids, this could kind of be fun. So there we are, the Citroën DS5. Still can't figure it out. Right, I've just made my mind up. I don't want one, because if I sit in the car and take the parking brake off,